Okay, this video we got some more stuff from Amazon. This is tools, but it's for doing wiring work, and it's well, 3 of it's tools. So let's get into it. It's going to be a good one. All right, first up, I don't know if you can see this through the bag. This is for a heat gun for when you're using heat shrink or whatever. I'll get all these out of the pack or out of the bag. Don't say how many there is, probably 3 or 4 pieces. I'll open it up and show you in just a minute. And as you heard, they're metal. We also have some micro 2 fuses. Like I said before in one of them other videos, leave it to my truck to have some screwed up looking fuses. Can't have a standard fuse. It's got to have 2 or 3 different ones. So I didn't have any of these. Now I do. And I'll open them up and get one out there and show you. Also, have this here. This is a wire insertion tool. It's a tool that has different lengths and different size, like pipes that screws onto a handle. You run your wire through it. Well, actually, you stick it through like a rubber grommet or whatever, and then you stick the wire through it. That way you don't have to mess up your fingers or use a coat hanger or whatever to get a wire through a grommet from either from the engine bay into the cab or from inside the cab to out under the hood. This is an insertion tool that makes it really easy. Of course, you have to make sure whatever side you're using it on, whatever side of the grommet, it's the open side of the wire, not one with a pre-made crimp or wire connector or whatever, because then it won't fit through. You won't be able to get the tool off. So I'll get that opened up in just a minute and show you. And when doing wiring, checking fuses and whatnot, you need a test light. This is a pretty good one. There's the specs of it right there on the back. And of course, I'm going to get this opened up and show you too. There's the part number for the heat gun. Got 2 different sizes. Hopefully that fits my heat gun. It's supposed to. Got 2 different sizes of the round ones. It's open. You can see that. Don't really know what you'd use that one for. This one I thought was a little bit more rounded, where you can put your like crimp and seal connector or some heat shrink or whatever right here, and it would keep the heat right in here. That way it don't heat up stuff behind it. May have to bend that. It's really thin. It's a lot cheaper made than I thought they was going to be. So there was 4 pieces. Okay. There's the fuses. They're trying to dump out of here. You'd think it would come in a little bit better container. And on Amazon, when they show it, it looks like it's a lot bigger container than that. And it looks like they're in little compartments where they stay instead of just getting all jumbled up. It looks way different than this little bitty thing. Anyway, here's one of the fuses. 15 amp. Blue's 15 amp. Don't have... Well, everybody knows what fuses look like, right? The regular mini fuse is a little bigger than this, or micro fuse, and then the mini one is even bigger than that. So, I got some wire taps I got to install when I install them cameras. So, I'm going to need some fuses. So, I was wiring something, either the steps or the mirrors. Might have been the mirrors. I don't remember. I had to get a wire tap. It didn't have a freaking fuse in it, which is weird. It was just a wire tap. I guess put your whatever size fuse in it you want. So I had to go up there and get a wire tap and 1 fuse. And I don't remember if I bought more than 1 fuse or not. If I did, I don't know where I put them. So now I got some. Anyway, here is that wire insertion tool that I was telling you about. And it's, let's see, it's metal, like aluminum. And I'm gonna hold up the different, you got a short, or you got a long one, big one and a small one. And you got a short one, big and small. Now, I don't really know why you would need a wire insertion tool if you're gonna poke a hole that big. You can stick your finger in there, right? I'm just saying, unless you got something long that, you know, longer than your finger. But that being said, you just screw it into the handle. You don't necessarily have to use the handle. You just use this piece, stick it through there, stick the wire through. And then when you get the wire through into the dash or into the inside of the vehicle or whatever you're going through, pull this off the wire. But it just screws on like this. And then there you go. You use the handle, I guess, so if you have to push hard to get it go through. It's not sharp, but it's kinda, if that makes any sense. Anyway, let me put the other one on there, the bigger one. I'm not gonna put all 4 of them on there, the short and long. I'll just put the 2 long ones on there, the little one and the big one, to show you. There that is. I've been wanting one of these for a while. Just never wanted to spend the money on it. Now, you can get, I think there's one for like $8 or $9. But I'm pretty sure it's this long. It might be a little bit shorter. But it's longer. I believe it's longer than this one. But I'm not sure if it's this long with a handle. I don't remember what tool brand it is. Like I said, it's like $8 or $9, but it only has that one, and it doesn't come out where you can change them. This one, to me, was actually kind of expensive. And again, check them links down there in the description if you want to buy any of this stuff. I would appreciate it. This one is a little more expensive, but it comes with all them different sizes. So that's a plus, I think. I'm just trying to get this other one. I am going to put the shorter one on there, the small, shorter one. You know, these people need to chill out with all the grease and oil. Not grease, but oil on all the tools. I know they don't want it to rust. I guess when it's coming all the way from China, they don't want it to rust. But that bag that the tie straps was in my other video, it had oil all inside of it. And the tie straps are in separate bags inside that bag. So it ain't like the oil is going to get on the tie straps. And even if it would, the tie straps are plastic. Why do they need oil? They're not going to rust. Anyway, so this is the shorter one. This is the one I'll probably use the most. I mean, who has wire hangers around nowadays, right? A coat hanger? They're hard to find. I did find one, though, when I did the steps and the mirrors, because I had to run wires. Whew, that was a pain. Anyway, wiring is always fun, right? No. Anyway, there that is. That's that. And I'll probably keep it in this box, too, that it came in, since it holds everything together nice and neat. You know, we got to keep everything nice and neat. That's why I got all these toolboxes, right? So stuff ain't all jumbled up, stacked on top of each other and all that. All right, next up, we got the Astro 7762 test light. And it's got this little spring on here to keep it from messing up. I will say, it feels a lot cheaper than I would expect out of an Astro tool. I'm going to take this little cap off the end, little protector, so you don't poke yourself. Now, this is not the red bulb, it's just a regular incandescent bulb inside there, and you can replace it. Although it didn't come with a replacement bulb, that's kind of weird. It should have. And instead of having your typical little spring clamp that never really clamps tight enough to get a good connection, it has a pair of needle nose vice grips. And that's pretty cool. Everybody knows how to use them, right? Let's see if you can see over there. That way, you can pull on this wire a little bit if you need to, and it don't come undone. So, that is going to come in handy. I can't tell you how many times I've been trying to test fuses and wires and whatever and up underneath a vehicle and have it, that little hold that thought and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, here's an OTC test light. Now this one is the red bulb, as you can see in there. I like these little mini ones like this. The red bulb, I like them. Can't tell you how many Craftsman ones I've went through throughout the years made like this. Not because they break or anything, but the cord gets white stuff all over it. They get hard and they get brittle and it just breaks apart. I don't understand why it does that. Kind of surprised this one hasn't done it yet. But anyway, this is the kind of clamp I was talking about. Let me see if I can get this black boot moved out of the way where you can see it. It sounded like my camera cut off. You see? Little spring-loaded clamp for an end. They work great, but sometimes they just don't get a good enough connection. Or if you stretch this too much or move it too much, it pops loose. Don't have to worry about it popping loose when you have a vice grip on there. And I don't know if this cord will do that or not. I've seen somebody on YouTube using one of these. I don't remember who it was. Can't remember. Hopefully it turns out to be a good one. I don't know. It really does seem a lot cheaper made than that OTC one as far as the feel of the plastic. I don't know. And the little rubber spring and the cord. We'll see. And obviously it's not as small. I like the little smaller ones a little bit better because you can poke them into little tighter spots without messing up connectors and whatnot. But it's not marked Astro anywhere on it. Well, it is on the vice grip. Right there it says Astro. But it's not on the actual test light. I guess they don't want to put anything there to block the view of the bulb. Kind of surprising that it did not come with a spare bulb. That's weird. Anyway, this is going to come in handy. Could have used this the other day. One thing I will say is, you see right there where the wire is kind of kinked? That was like that in the package. Hopefully it'll bend out and not cause a problem, but we'll find out. And you know, like always, if I have any problems with anything, I'll let you know. Like I always do. I have before. Just wanted to show you those 4 items. That's all I got for this video. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.